Hello, I'm back. Welcome to For Context with Sarah Abraham. I'm your humble host. Today's Thursday, the 19th of March. I'm reporting to you live from my garden on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Let's get right into it. I wasn't able to sleep last night for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I was really tired. I had exercised, but I just couldn't fall asleep. Reconnected with an old friend that I made when I did this summer program at Columbia University when I was 17. I guess maybe I'll talk about that because I've been thinking a lot about addiction, and that summer was a pretty critical point for me. So I started vaping when I was 15 years old. I just thought it was cool. I just wanted something to take the edge off. I first drank when I was 14 years old. I stole liquor out of my parents' liquor cabinet, and what I did was I took a little bit of each type of liquor. Couldn't manage my own emotions. And yeah, that's something I've been thinking about recently because I realized every time I feel an emotion, I just really try to escape that as quick as possible and just find any way to distract myself from it or to numb it or whatever. I went through a lot. It's like my dad died. I went through trauma with that, watching him die slowly. And I just broke up with my boyfriend of 5 years and we were engaged. And I'm just like, I'm fine. Just going up my Hinge dates. And, are you really fine? Jessica, are you fine? Started vaping again, for example. I just started doing this when I was 15 and I didn't realize how much I was really desperate for that escape. It kind of took control over me in a way that I didn't see coming. I just was so unaware of my actual feelings because there was really no one around me who knew how to take care of my feelings, I guess. Hearing myself, this sounds all whiny. If you have a kid that you're able to take care of your feelings, that's how they end up being able to be employable and stuff and be a functioning member of society and not have to be in constant therapy and all this shit. I vaped from 15 to 17 and I just wasn't taking care of myself and I got this horrible eczema all over my face and I would just go to school. I wasn't able to sleep the previous night because I was just scrolling on my phone, distracting myself, stressed, never felt comfortable in my own house. I felt like the walls were almost closing in on me. I had this really big kind of empty room. I was just always worried my mom was gonna walk in. I was always on the brink of getting in trouble because, to be fair, I was always doing something that was worth getting me in trouble. For example, stealing liquor, making this awful concoction, going out in the day at 15, getting drunk in the street, thinking I'm slick. I was not slick. Yeah, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how to help myself because I was 15. What idiot 15-year-old knows anything? At least I knew something was wrong. I was always bothered by it, which I'm very grateful for because a lot of the people around me weren't bothered and I was always trying to quit and failing because everyone around me was doing it and it was considered normal and weed wasn't considered harmful and drinking was considered whatever, but I was really trying hard in school to get good grades and obviously I wasn't one of those people that's could get good grades and do all that other shit and be partying, showing up to the SAT, doing some devil's lettuce. It tortured me. So when I was 17, I did this program at Columbia. It was a bit later in the summer. So since I was away traveling, I managed to quit vaping and it sucked. It was so hard. And I just remember feeling so isolated because I felt like I was going through something that no one else my age was going through because I was so bothered by it. I was friends with kids whose parents really on their ass. They wouldn't be able to get away with having a vape and letting their grades slip even a little bit. And they had pressure from their parents. My parents, no, we're not worried about you because we see that you care so much. I really wanted to be a high achiever. I went into this program at Columbia after having quit vaping for a month. It's probably the longest I'd ever gone without it for 2 years since I started end of freshman year of high school. I made a bunch of friends there. I took on the identity to do all this crazy stuff. I was too afraid to get in trouble to do it there. And that really helped me. It was one of the highlights of my life. And that's where I took my first philosophy class in metaphysics. I had no idea what it was, but I ended up really loving it. It's kind of a very niche subject to really love, but I learned about different ways of defining reality, different ways of classifying objects. Are they real? Are they not? If Descartes at time 1 and he has his right hand, and then at time 2 he doesn't have his right hand? Are they the same person? How many properties do you have to take away from an object for it to not be that object anymore? What are the laws of reality? And that was just so fascinating to me. I was also watching lots of Jordan Peterson lectures online. I was trying to be kind of intellectual. I wanted to embody that identity of someone who was intellectual and could read and stuff. It was impossible. I had to stay up all night just to finish 10 pages. There was like third-year college students in this metaphysics class I was in. It was way too advanced for me looking back on it, but I ended up getting an A, and I was like, oh my God. I felt so pummeled down by my experience in high school, where I'm trying so hard just to get a good grade in a class I don't even really care about. And then finally, I take a class I care about and I get the grade, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe life can be okay. I remember walking down the halls of the dorms and just thinking, maybe life can be good. And that's enough for me to hold on to like get through the rest of my life, because otherwise I'll just end it, I guess. Lovely. I was having a really difficult time last night. But yeah, I did manage to reconnect with my friend from Colombia, and I guess it just got me thinking about that time in my life and how I ended up here, still feeling like I'm not struggling with school. Thank God I'm never going to school again. I'm not struggling with my self-esteem in that way where it's like defined by the grades. I am still struggling in a lot of ways. Like I'm struggling with feeling like I haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in my life. And there's so much more I want to accomplish, but I feel just weighed down by the stress and my coping mechanisms of not being able to sit in my pain. Because when you can't sit in your own feelings in your own body, or whatever the hell all these woke people tell you about nowadays, like if you can't regulate your nervous system, then like you really can't do anything. Like you can't pay attention, you don't have control over your actions. You're just gonna sit and doom scroll and go do something destructive. There's this saying, you're gonna relapse or do something stupid if one of these 4 things: HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. You can't expect yourself to function if you're any of those 4 things. You have to be aware of it. From when I was so young, I didn't know what to do. If I had a feeling, I would just say, oh, let's just go out. Let's go find a way to like get drunk off this disgusting alcohol, or like I just need to just get out of the house and distract myself. And I just like never gave myself a chance to like actually create the life that I would have wanted. And like now I don't blame myself because I didn't know any better. Damn, I wish I had the tools back then to set myself up so that I could look back now and be like, wow, like I really get to wake up and do what I want to do with my day and feel like I'm in control of my life. If I feel like I'm not getting something I deserve, that I know what to do about it and not just settle or feel stuck, or I feel strong enough to make a hard choice or make a difficult life change, instead of feeling like I'm so fragile and I can't handle anything too hard. I need to put myself out there and go have more structure in my day. I feel strong enough. I signed up to go to school. I could handle it. But it's like, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like I could handle the fear of like failing in school again, or just not doing as well as I want to be doing, because I don't have control over how I spend my time. I don't have the self-control to get home and just sit and study and do what I need to do when I don't immediately feel like it. And everyone tells me like, oh, well, you have the money you don't need to go to school, you don't need to work. But I always wanted to. I'm not happy like this. So, I mean, I guess I'm learning all those things that I wish I would have learned when I was 14, 15, like now. And like, I'm not good at it. And like, yeah, I'm vaping. Shut up. Yeah, there's a lot of things about my life that aren't ideal. I'm not going to do what I did in high school, which is like sign myself up for all these like really difficult classes and just think, because I'm a gifted kid, so I can do it. It's like, no, I'm only going to do what I really believe is doable for me. And if that makes me feel like, oh, I'm so worthless and incompetent because I'm not capable of doing X, Y, and Z, I just don't want to concern myself with that anymore. Like, I just want to concern myself with accomplishing something, even if it's small. Yeah, it's tough because just being told you're gifted, like you have so much potential, when no one can see or acknowledge mental health issues that are invisible. No one acknowledged depression. I was just around my other friends who maybe they were going through the same thing of depression and anxiety, and it could have been really severe, but they didn't have anyone around them who was acknowledging it. Or if they did, I wasn't able to comprehend what it meant for the adults in my life to actually know how to successfully manage or help me to manage those things. My mom grew up, she's the daughter of Polish immigrants who came from just the most horrific circumstances. They lost everything. They went through war. They lost everything multiple times. They had no money. They had to build themselves up from nothing. They had to just leave. Communists were going to come and kill them. And they just had to make do, and they just had to get to America. And they made it for themselves. And then there's me complaining about my problems. I would say depression is almost worse than certainly any other illness you could possibly have, like cancer or anything. Because even if you have the worst illness, you could still have a good mindset. You could still find joy in things. Depression is the inability to find joy, and that is everything in life. And if you don't have that, you don't have anything. I think people don't acknowledge that enough. Happiness is the most important thing in life. If your kid says, I'm depressed, yeah, I know it sounds annoying because no way my parents had to work so hard. I had to work so hard to give them this cushy life, and then they're complaining like my feelings. But it's real. It's just as real as all the external struggles, and it shouldn't be discounted, because people can go through extremely traumatizing events and come out without being traumatized, and then people can go through seemingly small events, like maybe getting bullied in school, and they can come out just messed up for life. And that's what is so poisonous about mental illness. That is almost more poisonous than anything you could go through externally, any of the most difficult external circumstances, because at least you're not alone. And that's also everything. So now I'm trying to learn how to manage my emotions. It's not trivial, even though I feel like it sounds trivial. I mean, tell that to my Polish grandparents. It's hard to feel like you're not in control of your own mind, of your own life, and like you're the only one. And I think if you don't have any options, if you don't have a parent who can help guide you when you're 15 and you're going down the wrong path, but you don't know how to stop. Like, I hate to be that guy, or your parents fail you, that's where God's got to step in, bud. I'm sorry. God or some kind of thing or whatever, meditation. You got to find that thing that's outside of you, because let me tell you right now, it's not in you. It is not in you to heal your depression by yourself as an idiot 15-year-old. It is not in you to just cope and white-knuckle your way through it. You're not going to succeed. Girl, you need to get on your knees and pray, because you don't got any other options. Because people weren't meant to solve their problems in isolation like that. It's just not a thing. And I believed it for so many years. I could just push my way through. If I just try hard enough, I can study. It's like, girl, you got ADHD. Maybe you got OCD, you got depression, you got anxiety. It's like, you're not going to be able to sit there. You got no coping skills. You have I had money, I had therapy. That didn't even help me. It's like, good. Like, if I couldn't help myself and I had everything available to me, girl, yeah, get on your knees. Get on your knees next to your bed. Cry and pray. Like, that's your only chance, in my opinion. Yeah, none of my friends agree with this, but yeah, I mean, I'm converted. Like, if you don't have those stable parents that you can really go to with anything, you need that figure that you could talk to get wisdom from it. So you need to open yourself up to that channel, and you have to change your brain. You have to change everything you think about God and spirituality and religion, because it's probably all trash what you think about it if you're not into it, because there's a lot of really cool things about it that all of my friends are like, that sucks. Like, that sounds stupid. Getting into philosophy is actually how I found religion, because I got into all of the arguments about reality, how it's structured, and getting deep into the logical frameworks of the arguments. And that's where I felt in my heart, my intellectual curiosity led me there, but consciously, but really it was my heart leading me there, because my heart was calling out for something. I mean, really, it's always your heart leading you. It's always your soul kind of leading you through life, through the good things, the bad things. You do the things you do for a reason. Maybe it's a stupid reason. Maybe you're brain dead in a lot of the decisions you make, but Claude AI was telling me about, because I was ranting to him because I was depressed this morning. This idea of God turning his face away. If you feel that feeling of being abandoned by God, of, I pray to you, why did you do this to me? God, why? I mean, so many of the people who struggle with God, they're like, well, why do bad things happen then? Like, why does if God is real, God can't really be caring about what's going on down here, because why would he let all of this horrible stuff happen? I guess they say in the Bible or wherever, someone said that, like, when God turns his face away from you, when it feels like he's abandoned you, he hasn't really. And he still sees you, he still cares, but he's doing it for a reason. He's kind of removing himself from the situation for a reason, and you just have to have faith that it's a good reason. You have to double down on your faith, and that's the way out. And eventually, you'll feel him turn his face back towards you. That's fine and all if that works for you, but I think that doesn't work for lots of people. So the way I think about it is when it feels like God has abandoned you, it means that we're all created in the image of God. There's a little bit of God inside all of us. The reason humans have consciousness and no other animals do is because we have this creative element in us that is mirrored in God. So when God turns his face away from you, it's because God himself is lonely. This is what I believe. God is just like us. And he's like, well, now you see what it's like. See what I have to go through to manage all you ungrateful pieces of shit. Yeah, it sucks, right? It feels lonely, right? Well, that's a day in my life. And I think that's God's way of trying to feel closer to us. If you feel bad about yourself and then you start just like judging, looking down on everyone else around you, it's like you want to bring them down so that they could be closer to you, closer to your level that you're on. And I think that's just like God's little quirky way of just being like, I just want attention. I just want someone to like understand me. He's just God being an emo teenager. I don't know what a rabbi would think about that, but maybe it'll help someone more chilled out. People are so intimidated by this idea of God. It feels so far away, but I think we find God in ourselves. I don't think you need to believe in something up there necessarily. I think it helps to believe in something outside of you and to feel like that connection to something outside of you, but day to day, that's not really the reality. Day to day, if you pray for something, it's probably not going to happen. But that's because he delegated that responsibility to us. And he's like, okay, you act as if you were God. And that's why people follow the rules of the Bible. If you act in the way God would like you to act in, then that's when it starts to happen. That's when you start to feel more connected to the world outside of you and not so alone. When you start to act as if you are your own God, not in the Satanist sense. God help me. Not in the sense that you get to necessarily make up all the rules, but that you have to listen to that inner voice, that inner kind of God voice, the God that you are, and listen to what they really think is right. If you act on that and say, today, I'm not going to vape anymore. If I really was my own God, that's what I would have it be like. Then it would probably start going better for me. It's always been that way for me. If I make the hard decision, things go better for me. Feel better about myself. I can just sleep easier, wake up easier, live easier, just a little bit. But you just have to keep in touch with that voice inside you. And sometimes it gets lost. It's kind of contradictory, but I think that's the point. The point is that God is contradictory. You can have perfection in imperfection. So don't be afraid of contradictions. Maybe I only understand that because I read philosophy and my friends would be like, that's fucking stupid. Debate me because it's annoying. And I don't want to have to think too hard, honestly. I've done my thinking. I've done my fair share. Plenty. So I think that's it for my ramble today. This was For Context with Sarah Abraham. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, under that name. Please, God, give me some comments, even if it's a hate comment. Really, anything helps because I really need to get that engagement up on TikTok. Please leave a comment. Okay, y'all. Bye.